So we have our next meeting today. So if you understood well the idea, we are now a little bit experimenting. We are trying to split our audience in two parts. We are going to have two meetings today. One now and another one in a deep night in Moscow, in Kaliningrad, but it will be actually an evening in Western United States and Central United States. And it will be already morning, even not very early morning for Russian Eastern Siberia. So the only risk is, so the idea has been that people from Yakutsk and maybe Barnaul and Sakhalin will join this another next meeting tonight. Let's say for me it will be tonight, and for you, Dasha, I believe also. And Americans will probably somehow split, we assumed, but now it seems like everyone decided to join also the next meeting. So the school students decided that morning on Saturday is too early, better to spend it in bed or with something more pleasant, but probably we are going to join the evening meeting. And so it seems like now we will have only like European part of Russia, maybe somebody from Eastern United States could join us, but I have seen no one so far. I am also do not see now Daniel from St. Petersburg or Mikhail from Chuvasha, from Volga River. So, but still, so the goal of today's meeting, first of all, we would like again to somehow remind about our next step. And Dasha, I understand you didn't send us ever this KML contour for your study area. I do remember we received some previously in September already. I believe Mikhail is joining us. So probably I will repeat my speech again.
No, we'll get them caught up.
I did map. I want to ask where I can send you. Maybe I did it on my computer. Can I send it on email, or best way is sent in WhatsApp?
Either way is good enough. So you could send
okay.
it
I will
via
send it
WhatsApp.
after this.
It is just a KML file. It's just a very tiny one. And today, hi Mikhail, nice to see you. Welcome to join us. It seems like we will have now over meeting mainly from this European part of Russia. It seems like American students mainly decided to join the next meeting, which will be in the Saturday evening for them and Sunday morning for people from Eastern Siberia and Russian Far East. So we are now experimenting, trying to have two meetings instead of one. We'll see how it will end up. But anyway, we are, as you remember, I sent out the link to the Google Map. Let me show now the screen. So sorry.
So I had a little trouble with that, and I'm glad we're having this meeting because I would like to understand better how to see these properties.
So let's see. Yeah, I sent you some time ago. I sent you the message to the map. I could send you again. Just a minute. It's sharing the map, and okay, I will just send you here into the chat the link to the Google Maps. Yeah, I just put all the data I received so far. I put together into a single map. Please let me know if you are all able to open it and see it, or is something wrong with it.
My main question for you, Dima, was I was able to open the map and I'm able to get into where you're at. But then if you scroll down through if you look at the areas that are supposed to be on this map, right?
Yes.
Let's take Daniel's. Let's look at the white bridges.
Yeah. Well, it's the only problem that I transferred data here from Daniel, but I have not transferred his photos, unfortunately, because I could only do it manually. I managed to attach the photos from Mikhail because I received it via in Word file actually. But
Okay.
Daniel put the photos also online, which is fine. But I only uploaded here the KML file.
Yep.
And so we see the location, but we do not see Daniel's photos here,
sure.
Unfortunately.
And we can learn that part later. But now let's go to Ishmael's favorite park.
Yes. So
yep.
This is.
And so you click on it.
Yeah, you should zoom in. It does not automatically zoom into it. It is automatically marked.
Yeah, that's where I was having trouble, was that it doesn't zoom in automatically. There's no way to make it zoom in automatically and go to it.
As far as I know, here in Google not, but
okay.
Let me say that we are now using this Google Maps only as a proxy. I would say we will launch another online map with our own mapping system, which is a little bit more advanced in some extent.
Okay, great.
So we will be able, but this is the simplest way to do a map, to also to join map and to exchange the data. Yeah, I could just remind you that you could, for example, we just received the new data sets from our colleagues from Yakutia. So we could just add another layer here. So the layer is just a set of data of the same origin, for example, of the same nature. And we could import it, this KML file. Let's see, I have it somewhere here. This is the so-called death value in Yakutia.
Oh yeah, I was very interested in this one.
Yeah, just take a look. It is death value. it is here. I told you that it is actually in the middle of Eurasia continental landmass, and even for Yakutian scale, it is a very remote area. So, for example, if we will change the base map, let's say, no, not this, but actually the city of Yakutsk, the capital of the whole region, is here. It is like, okay, I could easily be wrong, but it sounds like 1,000 kilometers.
Sure.
So how many miles? Like probably less. Something.
Yeah,
like
700 or so.
700 miles from Yakutsk to that location. So even
and are there people? There aren't very many towns or cities or people around there, obviously. And are there remote regions north of that where people live? Are these towns?
Honestly saying, I'm not quite certain about this location. Is totally unpopulated as far as I know. The nearest relatively big locations, for example, this city of Mirny, which is diamond mining and other geology, let's say mining industry center. It is mainly here.
Sure.
There is also some remote areas which are better to ask our Yakutian colleagues later today. What people do here.
Yeah,
I'm not quite certain, but in any extent, it is a really remote area, and actually, the satellite images is the only way to study it. And actually, our next topic, our next step we should do is the training. I hope start it today, but continue maybe next week or at least our next meeting in format maybe more structured lecture. I just would like to first put together as many locations as possible because we are still waiting. We have now a location from Daniel, from Ismail, from Mikhail, and now from Yakutia and from you and me, Sam.
Yeah, I'm going to put another couple of areas of interest in there that are a little bit remote like that. I could tell you things about the area from a satellite image that I've seen from the ground, but no one will ever go there. They're so far remote. But that's I can monitor the place from my satellite imagery, I suppose, having been there in the past. So
yeah, let's see. But I am also waiting for now. I hope that Daria will send us something, and I expect also some more locations from our American colleagues later.
Yes.
And of course, very soon we will learn that accumulating the data here in the Google Maps is not actually the best option because now we even cannot edit it together. So I could edit it because I produced it. I imported here all the data I received from you guys, but I have no way to edit it. I could edit them by myself, but we cannot do the kind of crowd mapping, joint mapping of producing any joint map. And here we will find other tools for that, as I mentioned it previously. And also important that here we could only see as a in terms of satellite images, we could only see Google Maps here. So that's, of course, it is maybe not a bad option, but for this remote area, I'm also quite certain we do not have any detailed imagery here. So if you will zoom in, for example, this remote area of this depth value, you see that it is not as detailed as we could see from Moscow or St. Petersburg or New York or Minneapolis or other populated areas. It is an empty place, and Google actually did not spend enough money to put really detailed imagery. So you do not see, look, so as you zoom in, you could only see very general pictures. So you do not see like single trees or something else. You could only take this wider look. So you could see what it is valley of a river, some treeless, probably bogged area, wetland area.
And you're saying that there are other sources out there where you could get much more detailed imagery for that area if you were looking to study it via satellite maps.
So exactly, and this we are going to somehow step by step learn it.
Yes.
Just I hope that maybe my Russian colleagues are already know that things. I could remind you that in the beginning of our first lecture, I believe I demonstrated that slide to you. Then, so if you would like to know exactly time of images for the area, if you would like to see the most recent areas, if you would like to take changes, so we need to use some other tools. And in our very first meeting, I presented this slide. That's one of the tools I would like to remind you is Google Earth Pro, and some other ones. I probably could share this link also with you. Later on, I will send it via email or somehow else, but there is some set of tools. And I hope to go today through at least some of them. You see, it is maybe too much to go deep in all of them. First of all, this what is called Google Earth. Google actually has like two different systems. What we are working right now is Google Maps, but they also have something what is called Google Earth. So, and you could just type like earth.google.com, and you will see the 3D dimensional model of Earth, and also could zoom in, zoom out, but basically you will see the same images as you will see in Google Maps. It is much more beautifully looking, but still, if you would like to see something special, we have to download and install in your computer a bit more advanced version of Google Earth, which is called the Google Earth Pro. Here is the link. I sent you to everyone.
And that's also a free resource, correct?
Yes. So it is also a free resource, free software. So, but the only problem is that it doesn't work in mobile devices mainly. You must have a desktop computer, or at least a laptop, to work with it.
Mm-hmm.
So so here there are different Earth versions. You could see some of them actually, if you just type earth.google.com, you will see this web version, which is very nice, but just much more simple. There is also some version for mobile devices, but it also does not have very advanced options. To do something, you have to download here for free also, and install what is called Download Earth Pro on desktop. I could also notify that for Russian colleagues that this software is available in at least in 2 language versions, probably in more languages, but also including Russian language. So which one version you install usually depends on your language settings in your computer. For example, now not even in the computer, but in Google Earth, in Google Maps. If you in Google everywhere, practically everywhere in Google, you have these settings, language settings. So if you changed it, if your default setting is Russian, like I have here, then probably you will also get the Russian version of Google Earth. But here I also changed. You see what I have here, the English interface. Before sharing this map, I changed my language to English, and you could see the English interface, and also Google Earth is now also available in English. So it just depends on the settings of your computer mainly. So you could download it. Is just not a big file. I will not download it, but as you will download it, you could launch and install it in your computer. And you will have to use it not in the browser, in Google Chrome, for example, like me, or Internet Explorer, or whatever you have in your computer. But then, if you install this Google Earth Pro, it will be like a separate software, separate installation. So of course, you must have administration rights in your computer to install it. But as you install it, you will see in your desktop or in your application menu, you will see this newly installed application. So as you just run it, you will see like the same, very nice 3D dimensional Earth with some data. And by the way, I should mention that you also, not only Earth is available here, but also Mars and Moon, for example. It is very interesting, but out of topic of our today's class, I would say. Go on. If you have any question, just interrupt me. And so here, you also could upload your KML file here. For example, Sam, I believe I could upload the KML file, like just file and open. I received from you last time.
That was actually going to be my next question was, can we see all of our KML files here? And then the other quick question I have is, you said Google Earth also has Google Moon and Google Mars?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have.
And is that all satellite imagery as well?
Yes, because we do not have any other good maps for Mars or for Moon. No other source for mapping them.
Right. Everything that we have comes from satellites that are orbiting those planets.
Exactly.
Right?
And I would say that Mars is now has a pretty good coverage with satellite imagery because it has no atmosphere, unlike Earth, and is covered with a pretty high quality imagery. Some areas might be better than in the Earth. For example, definitely we have for many areas in Mars, we have better imagery than we just have seen for this Eastern Siberian Death Valley, for example.
Yeah, interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, because there's just a few satellites operating on the Mars orbit, but Mars has virtually no atmosphere. It has very weak atmosphere. So it is very transparent. It has no cloudy, which is a permanent problem in Earth for remote sensing of our own planet. And so we are so we have pretty good coverage for Mars. Just take your time and explore it if you are interested.
Yeah, of course.
Just certainly, but believe me or not, but I believe that observing Earth is much more exciting after all. Maybe Mars will be interesting to look at new, but at the beginning, but later on, I believe.
There's a lot going on here on Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, finally we are here. So here I have, I believe, I believe this is a decent farm. Yeah, this is the area.
Yeah.
Here it is a little bit more advanced. In general, it is called Pro version. So it means that it is a little bit more advanced tools. It allows you to make much more than you could do with online version. It also requires, of course, internet connection because all the imagery it is getting through internet here.
Sure.
It is not stored or installed in your computer.
Would I be able to, just out of curiosity, with Google Earth Pro, would we be able to create one shared map with all of our locations and that we can interact with, or no?
Not really. Not really, because it is a software installed in your own computer. Everything you will what you will do here will stay in your computer only.
Yep.
So you could, of course, share the data somewhere, and other people could add shared data to their own maps and their own computers. But it is a kind of desktop application. It is not a network. It is not a network tool. It is a desktop application. But it has a few pretty advanced features. For example, the first, of course, it is also possible to edit and draw areas here. So you also could see here the tools for drawing points marked like that.
Yeah.
So you could also change style and color and so on. And also could point up some locations here.
Yep.
You could also draw a line and also draw a polygon. So absolutely in the same way as you do it in Google Maps, for example. Very similar way. It is a little bit different. You see, if you I now clicked this polygon bottom, and you see this panel, and you could draw your new polygon, like for example for this field. It works a little bit differently rather than in Google Maps or in Yandex Maps, for example. For Russian audience, they also have that another tool.
Yeah, it's keeping your endpoint and your start point connected throughout the whole process.
Exactly. And also it does not have these intermediate points. So if you could of course change the style. For example, we could just have it only outline it.
Right. Yep.
So if you are dealing with satellite images, quite often it is better to have only outline of a polygon, not filled with any color, to see what is behind it.
Right. So you don't think that
of course you could change the color as well. Yeah.
Sure. But so you don't think that your shadows are trees and stuff, right? Because that's what we're seeing there is the shadows of those trees along that road in that field.
Of course.
Yeah.
with the shadows, not real trees. So some branches I took here, but also if you would like, you could come back to editing. So you could see that all your data I edited here to the temporary places folder. So I have some more areas here, but it is just the remnants of my previous work. So we have here, it is all organized as a typical geographic information system. You have a map, and you have your data set list called layers. So here there are two sections here, layers and places, but actually both of them could be called layers in terms of geographic information system. So the layers here, it is just some presets prepared by Google for you. And there is also many interesting information here, even some photos attached here. You could see some photos done by and uploaded by different people for different places. You have some names and buildings and many other stuff actually. Even some terrain information, so digital elevation model added here. So you could later on study it a little bit, but also these places is actually your own section. I have many different locations here, but also this is our untitled polygon. By some reason it is now a little bit in a wrong. Seems like it has a wrong size. Somehow I changed the size. Probably I don't know how I did that.
You broke it.
Yeah, so somehow I broke it. But anyway, but you could very easily to delete it. You could just delete it and start again. So like with the right mouse button, you could open up this context menu and you could just delete it like this place mark, and you could just add another one. You could start with new editing, and you could just make this new contours. And as you click OK, you will finish it. But if you would like to change it,
I feel like I derailed your meeting. Is this what you wanted to show us today?
Just one of it. I'm sorry, but yes. But also you could of course also draw it, save it, load it, and you also save it as KML. Save place as, and you could also use this KML and KMZ format to save it and upload to any other place. So
does that mean that you might do some work in Google Earth Pro just to outline the area and then send it over to a different system?
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is, and in some extent, it is even more advanced tool because it also has what is called here, this bottom is called, unfortunately, it does not show me the tip, but it is called the show historical images. So as you click it, you will see this panel with a time scale, and you could see the same area in other images available, of course, only the images available by Google. For example, we could see the same area in 2013. Even we could say that it is May 2013. And as you will go closer, in the bottom of a screen, you will see that it was exactly 10th of May 2013. The area you're looking now, the image was shot from space exactly on 10th May 2013. And sometimes you could go deeper back in time, so to make this time travel and see how the area looked like previously. So this is a very powerful tool. So, okay, you see for 2004, for example, we already do not have very detailed images. For 2005, we could see single trees, but for 2004, it is much more generalized,
Sure.
much more rough, less detailed. But for example, let us, you are now lucky to live in a pretty densely populated area. So for this area, it's available just a number of images for for last basically 1.5 decade. So if you would like to see some areas and for more remote areas, let us, for example, open this Yakutian place.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 second, I have it in a separate place. So look, here is Yakutia, and if we could zoom in, we will not see much detailed images. You see this time scale, time bar is empty now. So if you zoom a little bit out, and you will see that basically it is one image per year available, starting from the year 2000, that you could go back in time, even down to 1984. But all of these images are not detailed. So no one image for this remote area is detailed enough to see single trees, for example, like we did it for Thyssen Farm location.
Quick question on that. So when you're looking at that time scale and you're showing those, how close to the same distance from the Earth and angle to the Earth are they taking these photos, or are they being seamed together by AI? Because things don't change, but they're certainly not the same satellite taking from exactly the same spot.
We do not know it for sure because Google does not open up all the information about the images they use. I believe for these remote areas, as we are looking and do not see any detailed imagery here, I believe all of this data down to 1984 are from Landsat satellite series, all of them. So in principle, if you could, as we zoom in the bottom of a screen, you could see image Landsat Copernicus. So probably it means that that the copyright for these images belongs to Landsat, and Copernicus is the European Space Agency installation or somebody related with European Space Agency.
Or is that the satellite itself? No.
No, but satellite is Landsat. But
Right.
it is even not indicated here what Landsat is it. It was a series of a few Landsat satellites, but it is not even indicated. For example, if you could go back to Thyssen Farm, to Minnesota, look here. Here is you zoom in a little bit. You could see even here it is even not indicated whose copyright is it. Unfortunately, I do not know why. Sometimes probably they are changing interface a little bit. Here it is not indicated, but sometimes it does. So if you zoom a little bit in and out, you could sometimes see this information. For example, if you could try to see the area of a big cities, like let us find Minneapolis area. Here, Minneapolis. Let's go to Minneapolis, for example. No, now they in the previous version they indicated the name of a company who was responsible for supplying the image, but now they decided to skip this information, which is fine actually. But so here you see that it is a little bit more advanced tool in a few ways. So you could very quickly skip, just double clicked on the polygon and move to Siberia. I double click to your polygon and I move back to Minnesota. So this is very easy. So you could also draw your line here and your polygon here. You could export, you could import, and also you could look at series of historical images, which is very different. It makes it very different from Google Maps or Yandex Maps or Microsoft Bing Maps, for example, because here you have choice. You could see the time sequence, so you could already do some time travel, but here your time travel is limited only with what Google provides you.
Sure.
Only with the images Google somehow acquired from satellite operators and put here for everyone's access. Also important, if you could remember our first lecture last November, but all these images are in so-called natural colors, which is very nice to see, but we are losing also some information. For detailed images, maybe it is not a so big problem, like for this area we are looking now, we could zoom in and probably separate even some tree by species. At least we could separate definitely some coniferous or deciduous species. We could definitely identify different tree species here.
For sure.
Yeah, but even when we will move for Yakutia, for example, we could see nearly nothing. So there's also, I believe it is also the sign of, you see these spots. I believe some of them are even just artifacts appeared while processing the imagery. For example, here over the river, if you zoom in, you could see some these spots. I believe it is a remnants of clouds. So definitely they tried to filter out cloudy areas, but some remnants still are here, so you could see them. So, and also you as you see of this gray and green area, you have no idea what kind of forest you have here. So maybe I could have some ideas, but these white spots are probably mainly treeless areas, probably wetlands. More darker areas could be some maybe coniferous or mixed forest, but it is really difficult to say now.
Sure.
As you zoom in a little bit here, you will see no real details. And this is why in this case, we need to use some other tools. So with Google Earth, it's very nice if you live in a densely populated area. But if you are studying some or interested in some remote area, it will give you not so much information to analyze actually. So, and also I could remind you, I believe we have some, I'm sorry today, mainly I'm talking.
Well, we should ask Dasha and Daniel if they have any questions at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't have any questions, but I have another question. I sent the link for my Google Maps, and can you open it?
Where did you send it?
In WhatsApp.
To WhatsApp? To WhatsApp?
Yes.
1 second, I just, I just need to, I usually close all my messages for this Zoom session. Just a minute, if it will open up, I will see your area. Which one?
I think this number.
One? Okay. So let's see. So you have shared it. No, you shared the map with me. You have not sent me the data sets, but you shared your Google Map with me. But even not shared it. You see, I have no access. I'm sorry, Sam. It is in Russian, but in Russian it is told here that there is no access. And yeah, I'm going to request access.
Yeah, I've seen the screen before, so yeah. I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but basically, what I suggest, of course, if you will give me access, grant me access to your map, I could download your data sets to my computer. But
but what we really want people to learn is to send their KML data sets or their KMZ.
Exactly. So Dasha, the idea has been that as you draw your area, like for example, this area by Yakutian colleagues. So after that, you have to go in the Google Maps. You could export to KML, KMZ. So not the entire map, but only, for example, this visit Untitled. Yes, this horror place. It doesn't matter. You could send it as KMZ or KML. This is very little difference at that stage. And so as you download it, you will just send the file with a KML extension, KML type file to actually to your area, for example.
Okay, I will send it after this conference.
Yes, and this is also important because my next idea is that as you have, yeah, of course, you could also do the same, also draw the polygon and save is it as a KML file here in Google Earth Pro also. So as I show it you as you draw a polygon, it appeared in this left panel. In list of our places. And as you right click the mouse here, you could see Save Place As option. As you save it, you will see that also you could save KMZ or KML file. So you could just send your drawing, your polygon or your line, your location also to KML file this way. And then you could put it in our joint map. But also it will give you yet another opportunity. It will give you the possibility to use also some other tools to find satellite images. And one of the tools you also should be already familiar a little bit with This is so-called Sentinel Hub, your browser. I sent you a link before, but I also do it again. As you will open up here, you will see this interface. It is also the background map and also some menu panel on the left side. And I could remind you that I already presented it in probably in our second lecture in November. Just refer to it. But also you could very easy to find a place, your location, just with uploading your KML file. So here in the right upper corner, you could see this polygon sign, and you could of course find your location manually, but you also could upload data at this point. And so you also could use this KML or KMZ file, this exchange format, for example, this one for Yakutia, to upload here. And it will exactly locate you to the same area. As it is in the middle of nowhere, we see virtually no maps here. But if we will zoom out sufficiently, you will see that we got to the right place, to the central of Eastern Siberia. So as you zoom in, you will see exactly your drawing, your boundaries of your area of interest. And then I could just show you a few slides in my presentation of November. This is Sentinel Hub, but as you are working with this Sentinel Hub, is your browser, it called this tool. So you could usually in any search satellite imagery data search engine, you will have to define, you will select a satellite. So what satellite are you looking for? You should define the area of your interest. You could just upload the KML file as we just did. And you have to select the time period, 3 things. So let us just try to do it.
I can download map like KML. I don't know why, maybe my computer.
You can upload or down. You cannot upload or cannot download. Download from web to your computer, right?
No, I can download. I can't open this file.
To open it here, here in your browser, sometimes it doesn't work because it only could deal with a very simple drawing. So basically, this file, it is not for analyzing images, not for drawing them, but just to finding the images you need. So usually you, first of all, try to save it not in KMZ format, but in KML format. For example, maybe this would help somehow.
But Dima, my understanding is you can only open a KML file in a program that deals with KML files well, and that would be in Google Earth or Google Earth Pro or this.
But basically, the KML format is now pretty popular, I should say. So you see that with your browser, it also does understand this KML and KMZ format, but it also could accept some other popular exchange format like this GeoJSON. This is just one of an open format, also for special data exchange.
Sure, but you wouldn't just open a KML file on your computer or on your browser. You have to do it in a program that can recognize it as a KML file.
Exactly. So, but this is as every type of a file. If you save for example, your text in Microsoft Word format, you must have some software which understands this Microsoft Word format, right?
Correct.
Same with a KML file, but important that this KML format is now pretty popular, and so there's a number of various software which understand that.
Yeah, I think that's what Dasha was asking. I think that she was saying that she was able to download the KML file, but she wasn't able to open it. But I think she was not opening it in Google Earth or in.
Yeah, that's possible. That's
yeah.
We could, Dasha, if you will have time, you could just write to me and just ask your question, also in Russian, and just explain what is going wrong, and we will clarify that.
Okay.
So but here the idea that you define your area by uploading. You could draw it by yourself, but you could also upload the area you define it previously. You could select some imagery in the list here. One unfortunate thing is that we do not have very detailed imagery here available. So the detailed imagery where you could see single trees is only available, it's not available for free. You have to buy it. Google already bought for us a bunch of images available in Google Maps and Google Earth. Some other web portals, they acquired some other imagery. For example, Microsoft Bing Maps, they acquired also some other imagery for the whole world. Russian Yandex Maps acquired another set of images, but all of them are kind of commercial images. Here we have some images available for free, which are usually less detailed, but quite often detailed enough to deal with it. For example, I could recommend you to look for Sentinel-2 images. You will not see single trees in that usually, because the spatial resolution. I remember we had a separate lecture about the satellite images and spatial resolution of the images. Please refer to our recording of previous lectures. It was in early December, I believe, this presentation about that. But the size of a minimum size of pixel of images, how large areas it covers on the ground. So as you as about with Sentinel-2 images, it has 10 by 10 meters. So for every single 10 by 10 meters is recorded separately. And of course, you will not see like a single person or single tree, but you could see any object which is larger than 10 meters, basically. And also you have to define the time range. For example, I believe the winter images are not so interesting, but let us try to see some images from beginning of June to the end of August, for example. So we define it the area, we define it the image, we define it the time scale, and we somehow click search, and we received a list of images available. There are previews, and where also you could see how large areas is covered by every image. So you could also do your selection, like you could even click and receive a reduced list only for images for that area. You see that many of them is cloudy. This is, but now we are lucky. Our particular area is here cloudless. So we could, as I could send you back to our lectures of in November when we discussed with spectral channels, but it is just a different different type of visualizations. For example, this synthesis, which involves some infrared channels and visible infrared light, we could see much more clearly different vegetation types, and also these brown spots were probably fire scars, I believe, were footprints of big forest fires. And as you zoom in, you could see inside this area, you could see also probably much more details as you could see even in Google Maps. So you could, and as I could just remind you that you could use this tool to download your images. So if you could just, you could download as a picture, and later on you could see it, like this piece of land, just clipped with your boundaries, the boundaries of your KML file, and you could see some details here and study these images. Also, I recommend later on, if you would like, not only have this image as a picture, but also use it in the geographic information system to load it to our own maps. I suggest you to register here. You have to log in to the website, sign up first, fill some very simple, very simple questionnaire, and then you could just log in, and then you will have more option for downloading. 1 second. Hope I have not forget my own password.
We're a little after 12 here, Dima.
Yeah. So I think we are already running out of time. But basically, my main idea is when this is yet another tool you could use to look and download to your computer some more satellite images, which could give you more information rather than using Google Maps or even Google Earth Pro.
Okay, so the next steps for all of this are for us to, everybody's going to pick their sites, get them into a KML format, and then we're gonna keep showing various platforms that you can go to and get information like this. And then we're going to start teams working on different areas to describe sort of what's happening to that area as is observable through the satellite imagery, correct?
Exactly.
Okay,
so
great.
So I will not go deeper in that, but this is where I would like to start next time, because this is not actually the only portal. I could actually even send you some links, but I could also mention it, for example, this Worldview NASA portal by NASA.
Right. We might be able to work with, we might be able to work with smaller groups to show them, because from what I can see, once you understand how the KML file imports and how it works, it's the different portals just give you access to different groups' imagery.
Exactly.
And so you have a list of, if you have a list of different portals, but you understand how one works, you're going to start to understand how the rest of them work, because there's a lot of similarity.
Exactly. There's a lot of similarity in every portal. You just have to define the area, the type of imagery, and the time period you are searching for. And you will have a list of available data, and then you could choose and download what you like. And then later on, we will learn how to deal with downloaded images.
Then there's more work to do on the storytelling and the project side of it. But I know I'm starting to get a handle on how to work with the different portals to get the information. So that's good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry that our today's conversation was again more like a lecture, like giving giving the information flow only from us to you somehow, but I hope it was not totally useless. And I just suggest you to first try to draw your area, save your KML file, send to us, and actually try also to find the same area in different portals. You could view your area in Google Earth Pro. You could find the images for your areas in Sentinel Hub, or you could try also some other options. I will probably tell about them later.
Yeah, so if we get good at finding them and looking at them in 2 or 3 of them, it'll be easier for us to get better at seeing them in other places. So
yes.
Instead of getting too confused about how each one works, let's just, I think, you know, you've given people an understanding of how to get started in those portals. And I think the next steps are then for us to move forward with projects and start, you know, collaborating to look at specific areas together. So.
Yeah, exactly. And what I would suggest also for both of you also to think if you could involve some of your colleagues or students from your class or from your school who could be interested to work with you on some project like that.
Yeah, and they won't have to go through all of the lectures and learn all of the stuff. If we can get people, if you have friends who want to get involved with the more fun part of it, which is finding the area and looking at the maps and you know, figuring out what it is you can observe that maybe you can help this area, or maybe you can have an impact on it by doing a little research. We will be happy to take them at this point too and get them caught up to speed. To catch them up, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Right. I hope my English translates into Russian okay.
I hope so, but anyway, if Dasha or Mikhail will have any difficulties, they could listen it again. So we will make the records available, and sometimes listening the English speech, English talking again and again will get you better understanding.
Yes, and if you use WhatsApp, if you want to reach out to me personally and just do like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of solving a problem with you, I'm happy to do that. I'm sure Dima would too. But if you're having trouble with a specific part, I'm learning as I go as well. So it would be a good experience for me to explain it, and I'll do it in English for you. So because I can't do it.
Do not hesitate also to ask me. I also could explain in Russian as well. Of course, yeah. So you could just contact me via mail or via WhatsApp, and I hope I will respond quickly enough to some particular question.
Because you're not busy, right? All right.
Well, a little bit. Not today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have enough time because for 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
Right.
Before next week.
If you can't make it to that meeting, I will do the meeting. I just need a few things from you, but really, what I need is just a list of the links to the things we looked at today. But we should be good. All right, Dasha and Daniel, I very much appreciate you showing up.
Yeah, thank you for coming, and we are waiting the questions from you, information, data, and welcome. Today we will have another session about the same with another set of people, and later we will see what is the better time to put all participants together, because we have now nearly 24 hours difference between different time zones.
But the thing is too that we will start breaking you into smaller groups. So maybe the kids in the far eastern part of Russia would pair with the kids in the far western part of the United States, since they're closer, and they can maybe find times easier. So we can, and then the far western part of Russia with the far eastern part of the United States, you might pair up in teams so that your partners are more on your schedule. Because we do have to get into, we will not have a good luck doing it always as a large group, but we might be able to make small groups work better, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So we are now testing this option.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Any question immediately now, right now? If you have.
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't
Mikhail?
have any questions. I don't have any questions. Thank you for today's meeting. I think it's a great experience for my English.
Great.
Okay, you're
You-
welcome.
We
So,
talked
yeah,
about interesting topic, and I think it would be very, very useful for my future profession.
Great.
and what is your future profession, by the way? Do you already know that?
Now I'm trying to choose, but I think that it will be something connected with engineering.
Great.
Okay. Good. So thank you everyone for this meeting, and Sam, I hope to see you again in how many hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be hard for you. 8 hours from now. You just have to stay up for
In
8 more hours.
in 7 hours, I believe. Yeah. Okay. See you.
Bye, Dima.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.